before, have I?
You.
Apparently. Before, have I?
What?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Action! Alright, so I'm here with Bluey Robinson, one of my really good friends who I've known for, like 8-9 years now? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Must be.
Must be. We lived together, we were roommates for like a good 4 or 5 years or something crazy like that. Yeah, it must be like 8 or 9 years.
5 years we lived together, I'm sure.
5 years we lived together.
Because it was something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, something like in Greenwich, East London. Yeah, and I thought it would be really fun to do a podcast with you because we've talked about podcasts before, and you know you're a big fan of podcasts. And who's your favorite podcasters at the moment?
Well, I started listening to Bill Burr. That was the first one because he's a comedian. I just thought it was funny, and I found out he had a podcast and he just rants by himself in his shed.
He's hilarious.
And then I started listening to Joe Rogan, and then like The Brilliant Idiots is one of my favorite ones. And I started listening to Tiger Belly. You know, it's Bobby Lee. He's a comedian, like
right.
a Korean, I think, Korean American.
Is there any particular like podcast type? Is it like a special topic?
Some I listen to podcasts. It's just banter.
Yeah.
It's like interesting takes and people because they're quite honest and stuff. So it's like nice to see people being honest and it gives you a bit of an insight into how other people's minds work, especially people who are in like creative industries and you know maybe not similar to mine exactly, but just to see how they deal with stuff and how they deal with pressure and you know life, and then some is like more educational, more deep, where you learn stuff and get to hear from people that you never hear about, really.
Yeah. Well, the idea behind the podcast that I'm doing, it's called the Superhero Mindset. And the idea is to sort of motivate people, inspire people that, you know, are doing amazing things in their life but feel like they need a little bit of a boost. And it's one of the reasons why I listen to podcasts or read books. It's just a nice... It's like you said, it's nice to hear other people's perceptions, and I feel like this is an amazing platform to sort of do that. Now, you're a very creative person. You're an artist, a singer-songwriter. You're an actor. You're in the new movie Cats, which is going to be coming out at the end of this year, which is crazy. You were a host on MTV for a while. You did a bunch of different things. How did you know that was what you wanted to do? When did you first know that you were going to be an artist?
I still don't even really know what it means to be an artist, to be honest with you.
You don't know what it means.
I still don't really know what that means, and when people say, I don't really know if that relates to me necessarily.
What would you call yourself?
I guess I am an artist. I mean, I don't have a day job, innit? I don't have a 9 to 5. So like, it's nice to put a label. I'm an artist, man. I'm an artist. I'm creative. I express myself through like these different art forms and stuff like that. I always loved to sing, first and foremost. Since I was about 3 or 4 years old, I'd always listen to Motown, and however I could get a hold of it, because back in the day you couldn't really just find a song if you didn't have it in your house or it didn't come on the radio. So I don't know, at some point I heard like Jackson 5 and it just resonated with me, and I was always singing.
Were you doing covers at the time?
No, I was just singing. Yeah. I used to write songs as well sometimes, like little silly songs, and then do like performances in me and my sister shared a room, and I'd do shows for her. Apparently, when I was young, my mom told
me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds about right, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then
how old were you? Like when you first started singing?
About 3 or 4.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I just always knew, I was like, I want to be a singer when I grow up. That was it.
Did you have the voice that you have now? Because for the people that don't know, Bluey has an amazing voice. Like,
thank you. That's nice of you.
I really, really think, you know, there's a lot of places that you're going to go. You've already done so much.
You've done quite a bit.
You've done quite a bit. You've done Justin Bieber's tour. You've released EPs. You came from YouTube. You started on YouTube. Is that correct?
In terms of kind of getting out there. I was doing loads of music before YouTube as well. And like had songs, you know MSN?
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
people used to like send songs or like Bluetooth. When Bluetooth first came around and you could like Bluetooth songs to each other.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I always I was in a group and I was used to sing, but I didn't put any action behind it. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a singer when I grow up, and I just kind of knew that's what it was, and it was just like a kind of destination.
Was
But
there
I
like
didn't
a
really
particular
have a plan to get there?
Was it like a particular artist that you were like, oh, this is such a dope artist, and I sort of want to be like? Did someone inspire you?
Well, Michael Jackson, yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. When I was young, I just loved the songs, music. You know, it captivated me. Jackson 5 as well. Young MJ, and then yeah, it just captivated me, and I was like, that looks like fun. What he's doing. He's singing the same kind of stuff that I'd like to sing, and he seems to make people happy, you know. And I was like, is that a possibility to have that as a job? Like, what? I'm doing that, bro.
That guy's doing it.
Yeah.
I want to do that
and I
too.
was like, what are the other options? What are the ulterior? And then it was like, okay, well, go to school, college, uni, have a job. 9 to 5, like, or, you know, and then get married and have kids and go on holiday.
Did you ever have a 9 to 5 job?
I worked in a sports shop once. That's about it.
That was a
That
really good
was
thing.
it, bro. That was it. I worked at Sports Direct, and I hated it.
And when was like, would you say was your first break? Like, what year would that be?
Well, I started doing, when I was in primary school, I did Indian dance classes at lunchtime.
Why'd you point at me?
Because you're Indian.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And then, yeah, because somebody came in the assembly and it was like, oh, we've got these Indian dance classes. This is the teacher. She was really sweet and nice. And then there was like, anyone wants to join, you know, put your hand up. It's at lunchtime. It would be lunchtime every day. And then 2 girls at the whole school put their hand up. And I only did it because I felt bad. I felt like, no one else is putting their hand up. I was like, I'll do it then.
All right,
I was like, I'll join. I'll give it a go.
I'll sacrifice myself.
Yeah,
I'll go with these 2 girls.
Like me and 2 girls, you know. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. I'm open to that kind of thing. And then I remember when it was the first time I had to go do it, and then it was like, I was looking at the window, all my friends playing football. I was like, what have I done? But it was good. It was really quite interesting. I did enjoy it, and she was really sweet, really nice, and like a warm-hearted person.
Yeah.
And then from that, I got to go and do a performance in Peckham where Prince Charles was going to appear and watch us, different kids from different schools perform, and we were doing Indian dance. So I went there, met Prince Charles and stuff.
This guy with dreads doing Indian dance.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, fam.
Amazing.
Random, innit? But
That's
and
awesome.
then from that, she was the lady who first told me about the Lion King auditions when it first ever came to London for the West End, the West End musical. And then she was like, oh, there's, you know, these auditions coming up to play young Simba in the new West End show of The Lion King. She's like, I think you should audition. I was like, oh, cool. So I told my mum about it, and then she was like, okay. And then one of my other like school.
How old were
teachers-
you?
I was about 11.
11.
I don't know. I was in like year 6.
What was the audition like for The Lion King?
It was just like a room, like loads of kids,
Loads
of kids from all, and these are kids who like were from like, you know, talent, from like musical theatre schools and like
Drama schools.
and all this kind of stuff, and they were really like, you know, over the top and loud, and I just felt like a bit like, what is this world I've just kind of stepped into, you know? It looked fun and stuff, but they came from a different world from me. I'm from a council estate in Hackney, and I've got my first audition to go Lion King, and all these kids are like, and I was like, well, it's like different world to me, you know. So I did feel a little bit like not that I wasn't good enough or I didn't come from the
Out
same
of place.
Yeah, I felt out of place, and like maybe they've got something up on me better than me. But I did the auditions, and then managed to get to the very last one, but I didn't get the part because they said I needed to maybe project my voice a bit more, like get the power to sing on a stage bigger, you know. And then
What was that like to hear that you didn't get it as a kid?
I think I was alright with it.
Yeah, you weren't like brokenhearted?
No, I wasn't, because at the auditions, my mom started talking to another lady whose son was auditioning, and her sister ran an agency. So she was like, oh, you should bring him along to the agency that my sister runs. So then I started going to that, and she became my agent. So then I auditioned so then that was fun. It was a nice, fun, creative outlet. It was every Thursday after school in Wembley, so it was a long journey from where we were. It was an hour, £5 a class, and then me and my sister used to go. And then from that, I started to audition for a few other things, and then the next audition I got the part, and it was in an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical called Whistle Down the Wind, which was in the West End. So then that was my first kind of like break in a sense, in a
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
So then I did that for like 3 months, and it's like performing on the Western stage. I never actually got to see the full show, but we did that, and then I did another audition for like a commercial thing, and I got that.
Wow.
So then it's like, oh cool, I can do this, and I really enjoyed it. And then after a while, I auditioned for The Lion King again, and then I got the part.
How long after was that?
I think it was like a year or year and a half, maybe, after I first.
How did you feel, like, because you'd had to audition again?
Mm-hmm.
How did you go into that, knowing that you didn't get it last year?
Because I did do some vocal lessons with an opera singer.
So you took the feedback of what they said, you worked on it, a year later you went back and you got the part.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a nice story.
It is actually. It's the first time I've actually felt a bit like that. But yeah, I don't think it affected me. I wasn't sad, like, oh, because it was just kind of an opportunity that came at thin air, really. Well, it's not thin air. It came, you know what, I thought about this not too long ago, like, it came because sometimes I feel like I'm not a good person, you know, like, sometimes I feel like that. But then I had a thought this year, actually, when I got reminded that I only did the dance class because I was open-minded and I felt bad for the lady that only 2 people at the whole school had put their hand up. I felt bad. So I was like, I'll join, you know, like, I'll do it. And I thought, as a young kid, like, that's quite a
nice thing
to do, empathetic, like, you know what I mean, in a way. Obviously, I like to dance and stuff anyway, but I was like, I was a nice kid. I was a sweet kid, you know, because I had a bad temper as well. I used to get really angry and stuff. So I always thought that was the real me, and that the normal me was just pretending, and that people didn't really think I was nice. You know, I had all these thoughts and, you know, abandonment issues, my dad leaving and all this kind of stuff. So I had a lot of stuff going on in my head growing up. But yeah, anyway.
So you got the part. How long did you do the Lion King bit for?
6 months.
6 months. Wow.
And that was the definitive moment in my life when I knew, okay.
You were like, okay, it's possible.
Yeah.
I've done this.
And I loved it.
I loved
it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I loved it. I hated the nerves though. The nerves were almost crippling, but there was a moment. I remember there was a moment after, I don't know, during the show, like we're in the middle of it, and like you do your scene, and then you come off and you're waiting on the side to kind of go back on or whatever. And I was like, I'm doing this forever.
Really?
This is it, bro.
That's amazing.
I'm doing this forever.
So you're a little young Simba getting like all of a sudden you're in this place and you're like, okay, this is awesome. This is amazing. You're singing.
Yeah.
You're performing.
Like a fantasy world.
That's amazing.
With all these puppets and people wearing costumes and things, singing and dancing, and there's an audience out there who like enjoy it and they're clapping, and I was like, can this be life? You know, this can actually be life. So that was when I knew. I was like, yeah, no turning back. There's nothing else I want to do. I want to perform and sing, express myself this way for as long as I enjoy it and I want to.
That's sick. That's sick. So you started off sort of on Broadway or musicals, really. That was sort of your thing. And then I know that you went into music. Obviously, you did a couple of videos on YouTube that did really well. What was like the first song that you ever released that people really picked up? Like, you walk down the street. I've been on the street with you, and people are like, "Oh my God, Bluey Robinson." Where do you think people started recognizing you from? You know, it was a song I did after me and my girlfriend broke up when I was like 15 or 16, and it was a song called "Think of Me," and it was I think I was about 16, maybe 17 actually, yeah. And then it was after I got kicked out of the group I was in with Raheem and everyone, and then I was depressed. Well, I was just sad. And then my sadness always turns to anger. It's my sadness always turns into determination. I noticed that recently, actually. You take your weakness and then you become stronger. Yeah, I take it and I get angry that I'm so sad and that I feel this way. I get angry and I'm like, oh, fuck it. So after I got kicked out of my group, I was so down because that was, in my mind, my group, my singing group, with my boys on stage, that was going to be the vision. That was my life. That was it. I couldn't wait till we were doing Wembley Arenas or whatever, and I could look around, I see my boys, I'd be like, we did it, we got it. You know, and then, you know, they asked me to just leave the group. Bye. Well, it was like, I think I was a bit too bossy, or a bit too, like, intense maybe. Too intense. Yeah, because I wanted emotionally attached to the thing. So hard, man, so hard. And I thought we were all on the same page, same wave at the time. So they felt like I should be solo. And they should just be a group of 3. And it hurt at the time, but I get it now. Yeah. So I was really depressed and whatever. And then I started working with this producer called Reese, who was a cousin of a friend of mine. And she was like, oh, yeah, he lives in Bow, East London.
you should go.
You started working with Reese back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Reese.
Shout out Reese.
Yeah.
Heatwave Production. my head.
Mad cool
Wash
guy.
my hair. And then yes, I started taking a bus to Bo from Woolwich every day, or
Wow.
every day I could, to like go record in his bedroom at his house. And then we did this song. He gave me a beat, and I wrote a song called "Think of Me." And it's funny because I might be confusing two different songs. I'm not sure, but I remember he sent me a song and I started writing it, and I was like, yeah. Just when it flowed, and I didn't have a second verse. And he was like, "Oh, have you finished the song?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I finished it." He's like, "Ah, cool, come back." So I was like on the way to the studio with the song not finished, and I was embarrassed that he was gonna like. So on the bus, I was just writing a second verse, like, and I just wrote the rest of the song on the way to his house, and then we recorded it, and then people really liked the song. People really liked that song.
Wow.
And then it's just like MSN, people sending it around and stuff. And I remember like this little small kid who lived in my area, this little like little cheeky lads, you know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, Bluey, I got your song on my phone, man. Yeah, look, think of me." He's like, I was like, "How'd you get this song?" And he's like, "Oh, someone Bluetoothed it to me." But I was like,
That's
"Oh,
crazy that the
wow."
connection back then used to be like Bluetooth. So
Yeah.
you physically had to be with someone that had the asset.
Yeah.
And then, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can just like send it like, okay, there's AirDrop, but you can like email it, you can WhatsApp it to people. Back
I mean,
then,
there was MSN, but you had to be on a computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was just phone to phone kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then people were sending it around via Bluetooth and that kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, people like the song." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I did a few more songs with him. But that was the first one that really kind of got any kind of attention.
Sick. That's mad interesting. Because I don't think I've ever heard that song, so I didn't know any of these stories.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
The first song that I know or knew of back then was Showgirl.
Okay, yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
first one, and that was used in adverts during like X Factor. Was it X Factor or Idols or something?
X Factor, yeah.
X Factor, yeah. Like,
oh, sure.
yeah, and I saw you all over the place, doing really well, but I didn't know these stories.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a whole couple of years in between. Like, Think of Me and Showgirl.
Yeah.
You know, where I was like finding myself and trying things, and then things not working out, and you know, and then eventually I met Labyrinth, and then he produced Showgirl.
Labyrinth produced Showgirl.
Yeah. We wrote it together, but he did the music.
That's such a dope
Crazy.
track.
Yeah, thanks.
That's such a long time ago too, and if you could tell yourself.
Look so young, man.
If you could tell yourself something that you know now, something that must have like bothered you at a younger age when you were doing Showgirl or something around those times where you felt like you're going through a lot, what would that message
Say
be?
again, sorry?
So if you could tell yourself a message during, let's say, Showgirl came out, knowing what you know now, is there anything you would particularly you would tell your younger Bluey, like your younger self?
Oh, for sure. I would tell myself, carry on listening to your own, follow the beat of your own drum, and have confidence in it, and
I
don't
like that.
assume that people who are older than you, or in the industry or work at a record label, have the answer and they know better just because they have this job or whatever. Follow your instincts, follow your gut, listen to the spirit or the universe. And
Did you have a mentor?
no, never had a mentor. No,
Never.
not really. No, I did have a vocal coach, Xavier, who kind of does.
Shout out to
even
Zav.
Even now, I spoke to him not long ago, and he gives you these gems of life that can help. But throughout most of my career, I didn't have like a mentor or anything like that. It was just more like trying and discovering, and I had a lot of belief and
Believe in yourself.
like really, and the confidence to kind of go with what you're doing. It does take you quite a long way.
And would you say that you were quite insecure back then? That you would take other people's opinions or their energy?
It went both, because sometimes I think I was insecure, but I found ways, or I wanted to prove to myself that my insecurities wouldn't cripple me or stop me from doing what. So if somebody said something and it made me feel insecure, I'd go beyond to do what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And it's, a lot of times it was the wrong decision. In a sense, it might not have been the wrong decision because it's good for me, but certain, like there's one video shoot where they had these white glasses and they like look like a bug, like a ding 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 ding, and it was like
Crazy Frog.
Yeah, it was like for some music video that me and some of my friends were doing F Street, and then I was like, "Oh, what do you think about these?" And they was like, "Nah, man, don't wear that." I was like, "I like these though," Like they're like out there. It made me think of like Andre 3000 or something. I was like, yeah, I like this kind of look. And they was like, nah. And I was like, I'm wearing them, man. I'm wearing them.
I don't care what you guys say.
I'm wearing them, and I wore them. And I look back at the video now. I'm like, okay, maybe they had a point. Maybe they had a point, but I think that was my way of dealing with it. Yeah, because I was very determined. Yeah, very determined.
Where did that motivation or like self-confidence or that determination, where did that come from, you think? Like, how are you so powerful? Because I know you, and I know you have a lot of energy and a very strong belief system. Even though, like everyone else, you know, obviously we doubt ourselves occasionally here and there. But overall, you're a very strong person and a very confident person, I'd say, most of the time.
Thanks.
Where do you think that came from, that you're so energetic in comparison to someone else?
Do you think so?
I really think so, yeah.
I mean, we're all different. We all have our own personalities and our own quirks, and you know, so that's just part of my personality. Some of it, I guess. Just I like to be out there. I was apparently diagnosed with like ADD or ADHD when I was young, but my mom was she was like, no, he's just naughty, and he needs discipline. So I only found this out a couple of years ago, and I was like, that kind of makes a bit of sense now, because I always wondered why I was a little bit like kind of energetic and like I used to like climb and stuff. Where I'd be walking down the street, just jump, climb, you know, and be. I had energy inside that I had to let out. So yeah, there's I guess this chemically just the way I'm created, and then also like I like to be free. I like to be outside the box. I like to do stuff that's outside of the norm, because normal life always kind of scared me and like boring to me, and just like the way I used to look around the world and like just see people. As a kid, man, I was really young. I used to look around and just be like, this doesn't look like that appealing to me.
It's not something you want to do.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I see what Michael Jackson's doing and stuff. I'm like, that looks better. You know what I mean?
Would you say Michael Jackson was like your superhero as a kid?
Maybe in a way. He was my first like the person I kind of was inspired by, and that really got me excited for.
He was like an idol, like a hero.
Yeah. It was like excited for possibilities of life and what this life could bring. Like, this is the first kind of example that I saw that. I liked the vibe, I liked the music, and at the time, I mean, I thought it was cool, you know. And I still, even aside with the allegations and stuff that's happening, like when
what do you think of the allegations?
Man,
we're going into it now. We're here now.
I didn't even know if I wanted to even mention it. Like,
sorry, it's a very real thing. I just want to keep it real.
Years ago, when there was those allegations and stuff came out, I was already too young to really, like, it already happened by the time I was kind of conscious or aware of it, and it was like it had kind of come and gone, and like it'd been in the press and news and stuff, and so I knew it was there, but you know, I thought they were all lies, or he didn't go to prison, you know. So I was like, and from the personality that I saw of him, and his kindness and how much he seemed to care, and you know, wanted to do good for the earth, and how his music made me attach myself to that.
You just felt his energy.
Yeah, and I felt like he doesn't wish harm upon people. If anything, he has been harmed, and he's a broken person who wants to reach out with kindness and love and like try and feel normal. Like, cause he, you know, he's famous from his child. You know, like your perception is so warped of the world. It's actually messed up to be that famous, that young. So yeah, I never believed it, and obviously didn't want to. And then now recently, with everything that's coming out, with all of the movements and all of the Me Too and people being exposed for stuff, I don't want to be so naive as to just blindly believe something because I'm emotionally invested in it, and because it's made me who I am. Like without him, I wouldn't be who I am. You know what I mean? So that's a part of my identity. So it's hard to say that he could have possibly done that, but I also don't want to be naive to the fact that I don't know. I don't actually know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna go and say, oh, they ain't never done it. And I don't want to be that person. I just want to be realistic. Like I can try and separate the music from the man, and I will still listen to the songs. Yeah. And I'll still take from it what I take from it, but I have no fucking idea. I hope it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like I know that it didn't, but you know, who knows? I don't fucking know.
Interesting. Yeah, because obviously, you know, there's a lot of people talking about him and stuff, but like you said, I agree. we don't know, and it's very easy to like just judge someone based off what the news or the media is portraying the person to be. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so Michael Jackson could be like is one of your heroes, in the comic sense, because you're into comics quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I like animation.
You like animation.
Yeah. I used to read Tintin comics when I was young, and I loved them.
Yeah.
I loved Tintin.
In terms of superheroes, did you have a favorite superhero as a kid growing up?
Probably Wolverine. Actually, I think it was Cyclops.
Ooh,
I think it was Cyclops.
X-Men.
Yeah.
very cool.
It just hit me now, actually, because I used to watch the cartoon. That music just... And I just remember the intro in it, and like he's Cyclops had the laser thing, and he's just, and I liked his outfit. I just thought it was cool, you know, as a kid. But then I always liked Wolverine as well, and Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles.
Michelangelo.
Those are probably like my guys. Michelangelo might be number one.
Why Michelangelo?
Is he a superhero?
I'd say so. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Michelangelo is my number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Michelangelo?
You know, he's super cool, super dope. You know,
You always wanted to be a turtle.
Yeah, he breakdances. You know, he likes pizza. He has a skateboard. He's got nunchucks.
Yeah.
And like I always like Bruce Lee. Yes, Bruce Lee's one of my idols. So like Michelangelo. He's got a name like Michael Jackson.
That's where it came from.
Yeah, maybe
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox. What other Michaels are there? Probably loads.
Michael Ball. He's my idol as well. But yeah.
Is there a particular superpower that you wish you had?
I always wanted to fly when I was young. That was my number one. If I could have a power.
Where would you go?
Just in the sky.
Just
I don't know.
feel free.
Yeah, I just want to go in the sky,
like your life right now, because you fly around all the frickin' time.
Yeah, but I want to fly not in a giant fart tube. You know what I mean? I want to be free, have that fresh air, breeze. I know it's probably be freezing cold, but yeah, I just want to be in the sky, fly around.
Flying around.
I think it's a sense of freedom. I've always craved freedom. I need that, man. I need that. I can't. That's why I probably having a regular job and stuff, and having a boss.
Yeah.
That cripples me. Like it don't cripple me. It just makes me frustrated and angry and not my best self. I think I can't answer to some dude. Who are you, bro? No, I don't know. Like,
why are you telling me what to do?
No.
Yeah.
It don't work for me. It never has.
Myself as a entrepreneur, I have the exact same thing.
Right. That's why we work as well, because we had many of these conversations and stuff. Yeah. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And I wanted to have an exciting life. I wanted to have a life where I could travel the world, because I wanted to see everything. And I wanted my job to be... I thought if I could have my job allow me to travel the world, and that's part of it, then I'm winning. You know? And then I'll have a money, like, obviously I'll be a millionaire and stuff. Like, these are all the thoughts I had, you know, like, I'm going to be a millionaire, like, I'm going to be a successful singer, I'm going to travel the world. Like, that was it. And I was like, I just... Eventually... I just thought, like, eventually it's going to happen, but I wasn't putting any work into it.
Right.
It wasn't until one of my mum's friends when I was in secondary school was like, "Oh, we should turn that guy down probably." Like, do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Was it too loud or is it alright? Until one of my mum's friends was like, "Oh, so do you write songs and stuff?" And I was like, "Not really, no."
So you weren't really putting the work in.
I wasn't. No, I mean, no, I wasn't.
And do you think putting the work in has made the difference? Because obviously now you're doing all right, and like you're doing so many different things.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the work is something that is the reasoning for it?
Oh, without a doubt, 100%. My thing was destiny first. I was like, I believe in destiny. This is my destiny. So therefore, there's no way it can't happen. It's gonna happen. So then I was working on it, but it didn't feel like work because I enjoyed it. And then I was, along my path, my journey to reach my dreams and my goals. And then it didn't go exactly as I planned. And I had a daughter. And then
Sweet little Ari.
Yeah, thank you. I reached 25, 26 and hadn't got to a place where I thought I should be. I've done a lot of work. I've dedicated pretty much my life to doing this. And my friends and peers had like shut up, And I was like obviously happy for everyone. But I was like, eventually my time will come. I'm very humble and stuff. I'm very much like a silent fire that's just always there, and a belief that's always there that I always kind of, had. That was like my superpower in a way, But yeah, it didn't happen, and I signed to a label and things went left, and then stuff with management went left, and life, and you start wondering, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was all it was going to be, and I've missed it now.
How long was that period for where you're like doubting it, going, I might have missed my moment? Or
what about 3 years, I think,
3 years you felt like
Yeah.
trying to figure out, were you like figuring out who you were and what you wanted? Or
The thing is, I don't know who I am without singing and being a musician, so it was quite difficult to think that maybe that wasn't going to be the path for me. It just made me like question so many things. If that's all I've ever done, and I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills with music, or like buy a house or look after my family, then who am I, and what else can I do? What else can I do? So it was a difficult time.
How did you get yourself through those 3 years? Because that's a long time to feel that way.
Well, I tried to push through even harder, and then for some reason, it made it worse. Because I was trying to reach for something, and like with everything, like go, and I started thinking maybe the path I was taking, how I'd done it, wasn't the way, and I need to be more like this guy or more like that guy to reach that point, because that's what I was seeing. And I was like, maybe I'll do a little bit of this and try and, in a sense, dilute myself and be something I'm not to get there. And then once I'm there, I can get back to being me again, and my confidence will be restored and all this kind of stuff. But it didn't. I released the project, and it was actually a good project, but it wasn't me. It wasn't for me, and so if anyone didn't like it, whatever, it really struck me. Like, and I just wasn't in a happy place. So I actually, first time in my life, I thought I might quit. I left my management, the only manager I've ever had, who was like my brother to me, and then things were going a bit left, and he was occupied with like other stuff, and I just felt like a little bit abandoned and lost, just lost. So yeah, I took a break, and I was like, I'm done. I don't even want to think about music for now. I don't even want to I don't want to go in studio with anyone, because I don't believe in myself anymore. I don't have the confidence to like write a song or be in a studio with a producer and whatever. So I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna go. I went to LA, stayed at my friend's family's house for like a month, so I didn't have to pay. I helped out with things in there, but they were like really cool, just let me stay. And I was just like drifting, man. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, trying to figure it out.
What were you doing to motivate yourself during that period? Like when you woke up in the month, is there anything? Because I believe you wake up every single day and you tell yourself, okay, you're in a good spot, or you just go down the shitty road of a suffering state, as they call it. How did you find that balance, or what did you like do every single day to stay motivated to get out of this? Because obviously it's a spiral, isn't it, of going down this hole? Is there anything in particular that like helped you?
I think just leaving it all behind and going to America, not to do LA stuff, not to do like industry shit or try and network or none of that stuff. I wanted to just get away from all of that. LA is probably not a place you'd imagine you'd go. Probably go to Bali or something like that. But LA, I just liked it because the roads are wide, the buildings aren't that tall, the palm trees look cool and exotic, and sun shines, and it's like nature, a lot of nature around, and it's more of a different pace of life. And I just felt like I just needed that at that time. So that's kind of what helped me get through that stage, just like submitting to not having the pressure I was putting on myself. And just be like, okay, let it go, man. Let it go. You've been doing it so long. Be easy on yourself. Like, things don't make sense now, but hopefully in time they will, and it will come together again, And then while I was out there, and it's funny that when you just submit, really, and just drop all that shit and don't stop comparing yourself to people, and just be like, my journey is my journey. It's my journey for a reason, And then it kind of opens up other avenues for you and other things that you might not have really thought about, or, And then I basically, from when I was out there in LA, like towards the end of it, I got an email about an audition for a Bob Marley musical that they were making, and it was like, oh,
You're allowed to talk about it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll just check it.
Yeah, and it was. I thought it was for a movie, and I was like, oh, Bob Marley, to play like Bob Marley, and everything. I was like,
That would have been cool.
I'll give it a go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just, my brain started working like about thinking about acting again, and like when I was younger and I did all my performances, I was like, oh, this could be cool, you know. And then I found out it was a musical. I was like, oh, maybe, I don't know, like maybe it's something. It's an opportunity. Something's come my way.
Yeah.
I don't want to just close the door and be like, nah. So I was like, let me see what happens. And then came back to London, and then went through the process, some of it, and I needed a bit of advice. And then I called and my ex-girlfriend, well, I didn't call her, I somehow got in touch with her to get her agent's details number, because I'd met him years ago, and he was like, if you ever want to get into this again, you know, talk to me, whatever. And she was really supportive as well. So I was like, I need some advice. So I just wanted to talk to him and say, I've got this audition, like, what do you think? And then met up with him, and he was like, I should be your agent, and I should represent you. Like, I think it's a good time to get back into acting and all this kind of thing. And in my head,
you left music for a while at this time?
Yeah. Because like it was a bit too much pressure and too painful at the time, and gave me anxiety, man. It gave me anxiety thinking about it, and I just didn't like the feeling. So this was like something new and exciting, something I could put all my energy into. So I started kind of going down that path. But I also came back from LA broke, and like thinking I was gonna have to move out of this place. Do you remember? Like I was like, I might have to move back to my mum's. I had no money, and I didn't understand how I didn't have money, because I'm a saver. I always save money. So I was like looking at my actual account, like my pop account, where I kind of, and I was like, how is this overdrawn? What did I do in LA that made me? I was like, what did I do? Like, you know, only to find out a couple months later when I went through my taxes and stuff that money was going out of my account, paying for things or loans and stuff to people who were supposed to like kind of have my back, and I still feel like they do, and they did, but you know, thought they could go into my account and just take loans that they were going to pay back, but not ask me about it. You know what I mean? It's like,
I've been through the same. Yeah, I get it.
yeah. So it was. So then when I found out that, I was like, this is why I'm fucking broke. Are you mad? So I just got mad again. I was like, I'll get my money. Where's my money? You know what I mean? So I had to go do a whole madness. Then I had a tax bill come that was like 5,000 or something like that. Didn't have the money, and I'd already lent the same person like some money before, like about £4,000 as a loan, you know, because they needed it. So I was like, cool. So I guess they got comfortable with like loan, and I'll pay it back, and it's all cool. We're good.
Yeah. Some people all of a sudden start feeling entitled to it. You're like,
it was a mad entitlement thing.
Yeah.
Man. And it was also all these other bills and stuff that I paid for that I didn't know I was paying for, like for my own career. Like I didn't know, like certain studio sessions or certain like a social media like Google Analytics thing to tell you where, you know, your audience is like £400-500 a month. I didn't even know. I didn't know that was coming up. No one said, "Oh, you're gonna pay for this every month."
Yeah.
While I'm trying to save for a house or whatever. Like, so I went through that, and it was like about £16,000-17,000 that, you know,
It's disappeared.
And then I was like, okay. So I went through it all, and I was like, you know what? All the things in this list that are for my career and that were for me moving forward or whatever, void. I don't mind, you know, huh?
Just write it off.
Yeah, I was just like, I'll write it off. But all these ones here that are like loans and whatever, personal loans and company loans and that, I'm getting that back. You know what I mean? And then obviously the tax man was after me, and I didn't have the money to pay, so my mum had to take out a credit card to pay off my tax bill, and it pissed me off, man, because she shouldn't be in that position. Like, she got 4 kids, you know. So then I went around the town. I went to go get my money back, basically, and somebody else gave me the money. Kind of I don't know what the term is, but like taking on that person's loan for them while they pay them back, and gave me the money. So that was really helpful, and that alleviated some stress and stuff. And yeah, while I was going through that, it was fucking annoying.
Yeah, so obviously you went through a lot from a business angle, creative angle, your own mindset, space, figuring things out.
Yeah, it was mad.
But you got out of it.
Yeah, and what helped me at that time as well was auditions and stuff like that with the acting thing. Like, it was quite exciting. I loved getting a new audition and getting a script and like trying to just bury myself in it, and you know, was just like a new thing again. It was exciting, and I was enjoying that more than music, you know, for quite a while. I was like, yeah, it was an outlet that I needed.
So you got the Bob Marley thing?
No, I didn't get. Well, no, I didn't get in the end, that started taking a while, and it was like, it wasn't exactly what it was gonna be. It was still in like the stages of, you know, creating it and trying to make it work and stuff. And then had another audition for other stuff, and then my agent was like, you should concentrate on TV, movie stuff right now, I think. Because in my head, I was like, I don't see anyone on TV who looks like this. You know what I mean? I don't see that. Other than like musicians or whatever. No, not in no movies or film. Like no leading man looks like me. Has dreadlocks and like mixed race or whatever. So I didn't, in my mind, I was like, yeah, I don't think there'll be a role for me kind of thing. And he was like, no, you're silly. Now's a good time to get into it.
Yeah.
Get into TV, movie stuff.
That's exactly your uniqueness, though. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not blonde with blue eyes,
right. Exactly.
So you didn't have that competition.
Exactly, and that's why it's a strength as well.
Mm-hmm.
Being me is a strength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being you is a strength.
Yeah.
Because only we can be us. You know, and even if someone kind of looks has a similar, you know, profile, whatever as you like, they're not gonna do the shit the same way you do it. You know,
100%.
And people need to remind themselves of that.
Yeah.
Don't try to be like the next guy, man. Be you, man.
Be your own superhero.
Exactly.
Be your own person.
Exactly. You are a superhero. You know what I mean? Because no one can do what you do. So like, find your ways to make the thing great. Being honest to yourself, and it will be different to what anybody else expected or what they thought. You know, you show the person you're auditioning for, show them something they didn't think about. Show them something new. Do it in a different way that they, I didn't think, that's quite interesting, you know, if you can. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I auditioned for a whole year and didn't get any jobs. No jobs, brother. I got close and whatever, but I didn't get nothing, you know.
No.
But I was like, you know, let's just keep going. And then eventually I got my first movie, Dirty God.
Dirty God,
yeah.
Dutch director.
Yeah.
Did really well. What was it? You went Sundance or?
The movie got into Sundance.
The movie got into Sundance.
But I didn't go. But I got into Sundance and a few other festivals and that kind of thing, and it was nice. I was like, wow, I'm in a movie. Bro.
That was your first movie.
First ever one.
And that was 2018.
Yeah, it came out this year though.
Oh, it came out this year.
Yeah, it came out this year. Yeah, and I was like, in my mind, I always knew I was gonna be in a film. I had a burning. Like, I remember watching films, be like, oh my god, one day I'm gonna be conveying these kind of emotions and like feeling, and I'm gonna make someone in the audience feel how this person's making me feel. I just was like, I remember vividly, I was like, one day I'm gonna see myself up on the screen, and then bro, one day it happened, bro.
That's crazy.
And it's gonna happen again at the end of this year. In an even bigger scale, bruv, in a more ridiculous way I could have ever imagined, bruv.
Bluey is in the new Cats movie, which is insane. Who all are in the movie? Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson, Jason Derulo. I'm making up names, maybe Usher. I don't know.
Taylor Swift. Rebel Wilson, Ian McKellen, Judi Dench.
Dench, you know, you're
Meta Narrative, Les Twins. Frankie Hayward, Robbie Fairchild, Laurie Davis, Jonadette, Sharifa, like
the crazy crew.
Jai, I'm forgetting people's names. I'm sorry, everyone. Love you all.
So that's gonna come out end of this year. You're gonna be in your first big studio movie.
Yeah, bro.
A couple of years ago, you were in a deep place, trying to figure it out, not knowing what you wanted. And I think it's a pretty cool message that the fact that you could take music, which was your number one thing, to be able to be strong enough to take a break from that, like you said, to like not be attached to it, so that all of a sudden you become open to new things. And then Bob Marley, and then all the other auditions started happening, and then now you're in a Warner Brothers movie, bro. You're part of a huge Universal franchise, which is insane.
It's ridiculous, bro.
And you're gonna be doing so many other freaking amazing things, movies, and you got any music coming out soon?
Yeah, baby.
So when did you pick up music again? Because obviously you all of a sudden these movies and stuff started happening. When did you go, all right, it's time for me to focus on?
You know what? I didn't actually stop. I didn't stop. I took a break from releasing stuff and doing stuff to release it. I just was by myself, still recording in my room, still like throwing out ideas out and everything, but it was just more for myself, you know. And then I got someone I know was working on a band, and he had this one song for this album that they were doing, and he wanted me to sing the song as a feature, and he said, you're going to be the only feature in the whole album. And the reason was because his brother, who I know as well, had what was it? A brain hemorrhage, and he was in the hospital, and someone told me. I was like, oh my God, Mitch is in the hospital. So one day I went to like Hammersmith Hospital, and I was walking. I was going to visit him. I guess I didn't say I was going that day or something, or I told someone. Oh no, I told his niece, and so she knew, but she wasn't there. And anyway, so I went, and then I saw his brother like in the lobby or whatever area, and he's like, Bluey, hi, what are you doing here? And he's like, he's like, you know, Mitch is here. Da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah, I've come to visit him, and I think it really touched him.
Of course.
It makes me emotional, actually. It's funny because when I saw Mitch in the hospital, this is like a 6'3", 4" strong Nigerian man, and he it's carnival today, man. Why am I crying, man?
Sorry.
Why you got me doing this, bro?
Sorry.
Carnival in a bit, bro. But he's a big, strong 6'4" Nigerian man. Very kind, very generous. Always been nice and heartwarming to me. And he wasn't there, man. He was like, he'd lost so much weight. He's like very. I think the term is gaunt. Like he lost a lot of I don't know, in his face he just looked very slim, almost like a zombie, you know. And it was just, and he had like a hole in his neck with a tube coming out, and he wasn't really there. And I remember I saw his wife; she was sitting there, and she's really sweet and stuff. And then his brother Namdi came up, and I was just talking to him and stuff, but he wasn't really, you know. And everybody else in that.
You want a water or something?
Nah, it's like whatever. Yeah, it's cool, man. Everyone else on that floor was dying, and he had died. Everybody else on the floor died, so we didn't know what was gonna happen, man. And then we were all kind of standing around him, and he's kind of there, and like kind of looking around and like taking it all in, and then
He wasn't present.
He didn't seem present, and then I just started singing, like just something that made me feel good, you know. Like some, I think it was like a Motown song or something that good vibes, you know. And then he just lit up, man.
Wow.
He smiled and he said, "Wow." He looked at me and went, "Wow." And he looked at his brother and his wife and he said, "Wow." And that shit was crazy.
That's
that shit
powerful.
was crazy, bro. That shit was crazy, bro.
That's powerful. That's amazing.
And he made it through. He made it through, man. He's still alive today, you know. He's trying to get back to what he did before, and he's got his kids, and I see him. And he made it through. He's a strong man, you know. And his brother's very strong. He's got a strong family, you know. And they were saying there, they was like, yeah, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this, you know. And he was there.
There was all of a sudden this like positive light in the room.
No, you know, they already had the positivity, man. Namdi's already a very positive guy, and he was already like, my brother's getting through this. Boom, it's done. He's getting through it, and like they looked at each other, and it was like, we're gonna get through this, you know. And then I think me singing, me being there, like, lit him up and gave him something, because he's a musician himself. So he's a bass player, sick bass player, and so I feel like it just gave him life in a way, you know, something that gave me life when I was young.
It's amazing, man. That's a powerful way of coming back. Fuck. That's amazing.
Man, fuck me, bro. I don't even like it. It's mad. So yeah, anyway, Namdi was doing this band, and he called me up after I'd gone through my whole. This is a while before I went through my own depression, that kind of stuff, or whatever you want to call it, and then came back to London, and he wanted me to sing on this song with a band called The Feds. and I was gonna be the feature, and then I did the song, and then one of the other singers they had left, and he was like, we got to do this performance. We don't have like our lead singer kind of thing. So would you do it for us? I was like, yeah, cool. I did it, and then that was another nice thing that I kind of just took the opportunity, and it was a new group of people. I didn't really know. I knew some of them from the studio because I'd worked there and whatever, but did the performance, and then just over time kind of slowly got integrated into the group. And I didn't want to be in a group. I didn't want to be in the. I was like, I've been solo. I was in a group. I got kicked out. I just did another group as well, and that didn't work out. And like, the way I get attached and stuff, like I was like, I don't even want to. Let me just be on my lone wolf thing. You know, that's good for me. It works for me. But yeah, eventually, you know. You joined. I joined, man. Submitted to it, and it's good, man. We had fun. We did festivals. We're still doing festivals. We're going on a German tour, like an arena is like 15,000 people, like in October, supporting a band called Seed. So that was another nice thing that came and like gave me a bit more like invigorated me for music again, because it was live. It was like funk and soul and blues, and I was like, man, this is me, bro. Like raw. It's a bit more raw than the stuff I'd previously been doing when I was trying to.
It's an awesome band, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's
amazing, great music, great live. Such a good vibe.
Yeah, we have fun, man.
Good
we have
people.
Fun. And like, whether it's, you know, some people are like, why are you doing a group, man? You should just be doing your thing, rare. But like,
other people.
I needed that shit, man. I needed that, like. And it's good. I love those guys, man. We got a sick bond, man. They're fucking, it's my family right there as well. So I'm still solo, and I will think forever just be a solo artist. But we're a collective, you know. So I work with them, and we do shows, and we all got our own individual things going on. So it's cool that we can kind of step in and out from time to time.
Yeah.
Also, I'm doing acting and that kind of thing, and slowly, my confidence kind of came back, and things were exciting again. And I started kind of finding new avenues. I went to Amsterdam, and then I ended up at this house rave because my flight got cancelled to London, and then my friend Roika was throwing this.
Shout out to Roika.
My brother. Oh my god, look at my face, bro. It's mad.
We're good.
And then and then I started. He was throwing his party, and he's like, "Come." I was like, "Can I stay at your house, bro? I got nowhere to stay." And he was like, "Oh, I'm throwing this party tonight. It's until 6 a.m, but you can come." I was like, what? Is that house music? I was like, oh, bruv, the house music. Till 6 in the morning, bruv. Oh.
Because you've always been R&B, hip-hop.
I'm a soul guy. Like, I respect house, but some of it is just like, this has no soul for me, no feeling for me. I can't resonate with this. But then I went and I met the DJ, Kerry Chandler. And
it was a huge house.
Yeah, he's bad. Well, obviously, me not knowing, I didn't really know. So
he's like an OG in the
he's
in
an
the house.
OG. And he plays, when he DJs, he's very soulful, and he plays keyboards, and it's like soulful, and it's like, whoa, this is feeling, you know. So I started doing a bit of that, and then from that, I actually performed a song that me and my friend had done, which was a house song, and then performed it that night at the club with Kerry. And after the performance, he came up to me, he goes, "Is that song signed?" I said, "No, it's just a song." He goes, "I want it." I said, "What?" He's like, "I want it for my label, if you don't mind." I was like, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Like, okay,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
So then I texted my boy, I was like, "Yo, Kerry wants to sign the song." And then he ended up signing the song and did a remix to it. And having a Kerry Chandler remix is like,
that's pretty dope. That's pretty epic.
I mean? Yeah, we got a bit of street cred from that. And he's a lovely guy, and then kind of did a few more things. And my boy Chris has taken that, and he's run with it. And he's doing some exciting things now as well.
Really
so,
cool.
That's another new little adventure that I'm ready to embark on, and I'm very excited about it. It's so freeing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You got a lot going on, doing music and auditions and acting, and we haven't even talked about the TV presenting stuff, which is also part of your life and journey, and I feel like there's a lot of more exciting things ahead. Do you feel like there's something that you still want to achieve that you haven't done yet? Is there any like goal, like
there's so much.
Maybe like 2 or 3 of them, like, so that next time when we sit down, you'll have done it. And,
I don't even want to say it. Like, I don't even want to say I don't. There's a few things I'd like to do. Like, I'd love to do a show at the O2 Arena.
Like your own show.
My own show at the O2 Arena. You know, like, I'm from Woolwich, Plumstead, in the Greenwich Borough. That's where the O2 is. That's where, like, everyone performs there now. It's the biggest, I think it's the biggest arena in Europe. 22,000 people. And I've already performed there with Justin when we did the tour, but that's his tour.
Yeah.
I would just love to one day say I made it to a point where I go back to my own hometown, and I'm doing a gig in my town. You know, like that would be like a crazy full circle thing for me. And not only that, and also Michael Jackson was there. Like he was supposed to do his show there, and I went when I found out that Michael was in Greenwich announcing the 10-50 shows he was supposed to do. Yeah, this is it tour. And then I was at college at sixth form, and then someone's like, yo, Michael Jackson's in Ends, bruv.
Gone.
What? I need to be there. What am I doing?
Michael Jackson's in the Ends, bro. Are you
In
mad?
Greenwich.
I was like, I'm going. I don't know what's going on, but I'm driving. I drove down to the O2 car park, parked up on the grass pavement on the side. I didn't care. I was like, yeah, went in. There's bare people in there. Like the energy was like palpable, man. And then he comes out, and I don't know what came over me, bro, but like the little girl came out of me. Bro, I was just like all those people. You know when you watch the videos?
Yeah.
I just became one of them. And I didn't even know how or what. Like it overtook me, bro. Like, it was
That's
mad.
amazing.
And obviously everyone else is there. And if a woman's got a baby in front of me, like holding the baby, I was like, your baby ain't gonna remember this. Please let me see.
Move the baby out of the way.
Yeah, man. So to one day do a gig at the O2 Arena would be amazing. That's one.
That's one. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. I like that one. All right, so, I mean, this is my second podcast ever.
Boom, man. It's like,
Boom.
3 minutes till it's an hour.
We've got 3 minutes till it's an hour.
That's a nice little wrap up.
Yeah. So, I think this is going to be my final questions for most of the podcast, but I don't know. Now, in the superhero theme, I believe everyone has this inner power, and exactly what we were talking about, the importance of focusing on yourself, working on yourself. That will determine the surroundings. So instead of like letting other people into your inner power. Now, if you were to have any superpower to help the world, any superpower, what do you think that superpower would be, and why would you want to have that superpower?
Probably just empathy. More empathy from everyone. I think if you start caring about other people and don't look at them as like the other and all this shit, and I think empathy, love, there's simple things that we all kind of know basically that will solve everything. I think all these people who empower and like people who care about money and power and all this stuff, like to feed your ego and all this bullshit, like, and just let somebody else suffer so you can win. Like be more caring to the human, to the planet, to the people, to the humans, to the spirits that exist in this realm. We're all here trying to figure it out, just like everybody else is. Some of us have more opportunities, and if we use our privilege in a sense to try and benefit others more, and stop looking at people like they're judging people, and it's hard. We're humans, so we do it. But I think empathy, and love, like that would be my. If I could just give everyone a bit of that, or make everyone just do one mushroom trip. You know what I mean? One little mushroom trip. You know what I mean?
Just one.
You go Amsterdam, take some truffles, even. You know what I mean? Just to kind of open up that part of you that might have been closed off because of exterior materialistic shit, or just your ego trying to buff your ego up and all this kind of stuff. I think if
the selfishness.
Yeah, man. Like if we're just more honest and caring, then I think in my view of the world, my naive view of the world, then that would be a beautiful thing. That would be the answer.
I think that's an amazing way to end it. Oh, we got 30 seconds. I love you. I appreciate you. We're going to do this again properly in a while. Yeah. Thank you for opening up for my second podcast. I think, you have an amazing story and an amazing journey ahead of you. Keep going, keep fighting, screw what everyone else is thinking. We're not promoting mushrooms, but, if you're ever in Amsterdam, maybe you got to do it. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.